morning, class. How's everybody doing today?
Good morning, Mrs. Molly.
Are you ready for a fun-filled day?
We are.
Okay. I'd like to get started on today's lesson. And today we're going to be discussing the 3 different parenting styles. Last week in Chapter 2, we discussed about the importance of understanding child development at the different stages and ages, and how it helps parents, such as myself, how to have reasonable expectations of their children or child. Yesterday we started Chapter 3, and we learned that parenting is very hard. It requires parents to understand a child's needs and how to meet them. Why do you think parenting is so important, Jess?
Because without parents, kids would live in a life of chaos and they wouldn't have any order in their lives, and parents are the main focus of their lives and they help shape who the kids are, and without them they wouldn't be who they are today.
Good definition. I would like to also add to that, good parenting skills will help raise good, healthy children. Parents are children's first teachers. I firmly believe that statement. So, with that, I need you to help me with this lesson. I need you to answer 3 questions. The first question is, what do you think a person who has authority means? What does a person who has authority mean?
I would say it means that they're in charge.
Correct. And then could you tell me what a democracy is?
A democracy is when everybody has a say.
Good job. Okay. And then the last question is, what does it mean to permit something? In other words, you had to get a driving permit. You also had to get a parking permit. What does that mean? What did that mean to you?
When I got a parking permit, I was allowed to park in the area, or I was allowed to drive, so it just means to allow or permit more freedom, I guess.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for answering those questions. That's going to help when we're talking about the 3 types of parenting, and we can compare your definitions to the ones in our textbook. The first one we're going to talk about is the authoritarian type of parenting, the authoritarian style. Our textbook says, and it's on page 83 in our textbook, it says it's based on the idea that children should obey their parents without question. Your definition about authority was?
Someone who's in charge.
Okay, someone's who's in charge. So the shortened definition is going to be obey without question. Okay, I'm just going to shorten this really since I have a very small board here. The second style is the democratic style. Our book states that children have more input, and your definition of democracy was?
Everybody has a say in the matter.
Okay, so basically the same type of definition. Children, more input. Okay? And then the last one is the permissive. We talked about what permit something means, and you said?
To allow with more freedom.
And that's the definition in our textbook says, parents give children a wide range of freedom. And so I'm going to put more freedom, just to do a shortened version to help you with these definitions of the different styles. Okay, so we have the definitions, your definition in your own words, and the textbook definitions. Now let's use one situation and apply it to all 3 of these styles. The first, the situation I'm going to give you, that it's 10 p.m. on a school night, and there's 2 brothers, ages 8 and 10, and they're still playing in their bedroom. Bedtime is supposed to be at 9 p.m. So how do you think a authoritarian parent would react, Jess?
They would say, get to bed right away, no questions, just go to bed right now.
Okay. And the democratic parent, how would they react?
They would probably give the kids like 10 minutes to brush their teeth and stuff, maybe let the kids explain why they were still up, just let them have a reasonable answer as to why they were still up,
okay.
And then make them go to bed.
Okay, correct. And then permissive. The permissive parent, what kind of reaction would they have?
They would just let them keep playing and not say anything. Just let them do what they were doing.
Okay, good job. Thank you. You did an awesome job. Also, I want to remind you that parenting styles, a parent can have all three of these parenting styles depending on the child's age and the situation. And when I talk about situations, usually the reason why the situation is moral, it has something to do with a moral issue or a safety issue. So now to help you understand this even better, I'm going to use objects, and hopefully that will help you identify with the different parenting style. I've got a chart here with the objects I'm going to be using, and I'd like you to fill out the chart and with your marker. And the first object I'm going to show you is a rock. What word describes, other than big, large rock, what would be another word to describe it? And just write it on your chart next to the word rock. Okay, the second one is a tennis ball, the second object. And what word would describe tennis ball? And then the last object is a marshmallow. And what would describe marshmallow? Okay.
Do you want me to read my answers?
Yeah. Jessica, let's read your answers. For rock, you put the word hard. For tennis ball, you use the word bouncy. And then for marshmallow, you use the word soft. Okay, which object probably best compares to with the definition as described on the chalkboard? If you're a rock parent, which one would best describe you?
I would probably have to go with authoritarian because they're rock solid and they don't take no for an answer, no questions asked. You do what they say.
Okay, very good. The next one is the tennis ball. And what would you say, which one of these would be the best, what's best described as the tennis ball?
Definitely democratic because they have more leeway. You can they'll give a little, take a little bit. They're a little bit more flexible and stuff. So probably a bouncy ball would be democratic.
Okay, and then the last one, of course, is the soft parent, the marshmallow. So the permissive style would be considered the marshmallow parent. Okay, good job. Thank you for helping me with that.
You're welcome.
Okay, now that you have these objects and a clear idea with the rock parent and the tennis ball parent and the permissive parent in your idea, which is the marshmallow, you have this clear in your mind. I want you to use that because when we talked about a parent has to be, could be all three, and it depends on the situation. And I found some information on a handout that talks about the different parenting styles is linked to teenage drivers. And the reason why I like this handout, because I like the graph. It's very easy to read, and it labels the different parenting styles on the graph. And as you can see, the democratic style shows it likes that the best because it does have some control, but it closely monitors the child. And I think that this graph really helps you to understand why a parent would be in that situation in terms of safety, why they may use either these two. Most parents are going to use one of these two types of styles, okay? For homework now, going with, since you have all this information, you have the visual image of what each parent is, what type of style it is, I would like you to observe your parents in a real life setting at home, and then I'd like you to identify their style. And I need you to report back to the class whether they're the authoritarian, the rock one, the democratic, the tennis ball, or the permissive, the marshmallow. And so anyway, that's for your homework using all this information. And anyway, wow, parenting is a huge task. We have a huge task ahead of us, but it can be one of the most rewarding. We learned about the 3 parenting styles, and I would like you to remember most that parents have to adapt their skills depending on the age of the child and the child's situation and the situation at hand. And another thing is parenting is a process, and it can be learned to be a good parent. So I hope with all this information you can use it to help you with your homework, and you can report back to the class. Thank you.
Thank you.